C-47s are tools used in filmmaking in order to, attach diffusion to lights and things of that nature.
It's something that we in the film industry use on a regular basis. It's a term that we use to help signify that we are part of that industry. It's like a secret handshake in a club. Oh, that's a filmmaker because he knows it's a C-47. Lay people call them clothespins, I think. But if you call it a clothespin, then you're obviously not a part of the film community. So we use that term C-47. There's really no other reason for it other than just to imply exclusivity.
In mid to late 2013, they became more. They became a weapon of sorts.
Well, we just started doing what everybody else was doing during the shoot. We would walk around all sneaky and clip on people.
Red Scare. We're all standing around. Aaron's yelling at everyone. No one knows what the f is going on. And then I turn around and there's a clothespin on my black shirt. And there's Zane clothespinning me. But that kind of got us all going. And that's when I'm like, this is gonna be big.
The first time you get pinned, it's definitely an experience. First you're just like, wait a second. And then you realize they nabbed you. They got you with a clothespin, a C-47. You weren't even looking. And then all of a sudden, it's just hanging off your clothes.
Well, I have to admit, this really affected me personally. At first, I was so annoyed. I couldn't believe that after all the things that these guys had learned, that they would degenerate into just ridiculousness like this.
I would say Tom is something like a threshold guardian. Something that stands between them and true success in the field of clothespinning.
Well, you get the older crowd. You get the Tom and the Court. And obviously, Court's got that sense of humor, so he thought it was funny. Tom just, he's getting up there in age. He's turned a little sour, maybe, at the thought of people having fun.
Tom, man, that guy. Yeah, we had a little bit of a little back and forth thing going with the clothespins. Often volunteered myself to go and tag the big man, and I got him good. I got him a couple times. I think deep down he thought it was funny.
Seen as many by the fates of the group, Zane maintained a don't take anything too seriously attitude, which seemed in conflict with the other group members as they became more high profile. Inadvertently taking most of the credit for the group's successes, Zane slowly became a subject of scrutiny by Jesse, eventually leading to the group's final breakup.
Zane was definitely the instigator.
He kind of took things into his own hands.
You think you know a guy, right? When I went in on this with him, I thought that he understood, like me, that there's beauty in what we were doing, and it's a form, it's an art.
Well, I think that the Zane and Jesse rivalry was very destructive, obviously. Certainly it led to a lot of one-upsmanship, but thankfully it never really escalated into, riot-sized violence or anything like that. But I'd say that their rivalry rivals the Lennon McCartney rivalry, really.
After the group's mainstream success, Jesse began to question the group's career path and often criticized his partner's motives and commitment. Becoming more and more cynical with each successful hit, Jesse eventually decided to quit the group after a heated argument with Zane about how serious the group's attitude should be.
It came down to me and Jesse, I don't know what his problem was. Honestly, I didn't really like the guy. I didn't start out that way. I thought he was fine, but he just, I don't know, maybe he was jealous. It was professional jealousy, personal jealousy. Maybe he thought I was better looking.
There's beauty in what we were doing, and it's a form, it's an art. I am an artist, a master of a craft, using these C-47s as tools to trigger human emotion. And for him it was just some kind of f***ing game. A game. My art was his playtime. And the people loved him for it.
Jesse was always the pretentious one. I always thought he thought of himself as an artiste. He was better than the other guys. They were just regular guys. They were trying to have some fun, accomplish something kind of cool, make some art. But no, Jesse, he was the one that was always going on and on about so-and-so would do it this way, and I have to do this because that's the way so-and-so would do it. After a while, frankly, it got kind of old.
I don't know, Jesse, he was weird about it. He kept being all artsy, and he would pin somebody 90 times before he actually walked away from it. He had to get it just right every single time.
Sometimes I just thought that he was trying to do something that was just not attainable. It's just clothespinning at the end of the day. It's a great art. And when you take the Joel route, it's a fantastic way of expression. But the way Jesse wanted to take it, he was just trying to make it something bigger than it was. And I think Zane was just there for the kicks and giggles, and Jesse just hated that.
Mitch was always the kind of guy that needed to be the center of the attention. He needed to be in the limelight. But here's the thing, he wasn't the star, okay? That was Zane, for whatever reason. And he wasn't the one with the brains, that was me, because that's just how it was.
When fame put Mitch on the echelon of high society, he fell in with the wrong crowd, turning to drugs and alcohol.
When you get enveloped in the world of clothespinning at such a young, tender age, these things happen. We see it in child stars all the time. You know, I honestly don't see that much difference between Mitch and Lindsay Lohan.
He hung out with movie stars, record producers, film directors.
So it seems like there's a Hollywood starlet who wants to fall in love with somebody with, you know, just about any disorder today, and I guess the same goes for Megan Fox.
My first reaction was, what? Mitch is dating Megan Fox? How does this happen?
Then tragedy struck as Megan Fox died of a clothespin overdose. He has since sunk into obscurity and fallen into a depression.
Must have been 3 weeks this torrid affair went on, and good thing the paparazzi didn't find out. Megan Fox's career probably would be done right now, but
She's dead.
oh, she's dead.
Yeah. She died.
Megan Fox is dead?
She died
Didn't
when
know
she
she was
was
dead. Well,
It just tore Mitch
that would
apart.
explain Mitch. I mean, you lose something like that. I mean, where's he going to get another girl?
Well, of course I regret it. I mean, if we hadn't done it, I mean, Megan would still be around. But it's all said and done, so there's nothing I can do about it now.
Mitch was just an airhead, and frankly, I'm glad he quit.
When you see a person, what do you see? You see their face, you see what they wear, their aesthetic choice. But I see something different. I see opportunity. I see places where I can pin them to pieces. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Or I can pin them and then just walk away. And they don't even notice. They just go about their lives and suddenly and they're clipped.
Joel. That guy was fucking insane.
I would say Joel is the classic example of taking your passion too far.
Joel definitely went off the deep end. He was trying so hard to get that perfect pin in place, that perfect timing, perfect placement. I think it just took over his life.
I wanted to help him, but, I told him he should see a shrink. I told him several times, and he wouldn't listen.
When the group hit their stride, Joel focused more on his skill and presentation in the art of C-47 pinning. As he immersed himself more and more into the craft, his priorities began to shift, and he began leading a second life.
Joel, I don't know. He got really weird towards the end of it. He started taking it kind of to the extreme. You know, he would disappear for a while. I mean, he disappeared for days before we started the thing, but that was not a surprise. Joel barely came to class on time as it is.
You know, we had the attendance sheets to sign in on, and he, you know, there was no signature.
But like when he stopped showing up for weeks at a time, he'd just come back to school and he'd have this look on his face. It's just this stark, menacing look of he's just waiting. He's waiting for something.
The thing about Joel, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because no one else notices this, but the guy dressed in the same clothes every day. Watch any of the other footage from this thing. He's same outfit all the time. He's probably buried in it. I don't understand how you can wear that, and it's not like he didn't smell or anything. Was this kid going home every day and laundering the same sweatshirt? And I
think there was a little bit of some strange fascination with pain going on there as well. I would watch him in front of the mirror, just pinching.
Joel's wires were definitely crossed somewhere, the pain and the pleasure one. And with the C-47s, that really came to light, and it's not something that anybody wanted to see. I walked in on a few things that I didn't need to see.
I don't know what he saw. Maybe he was pulling the hairs out. Maybe that's what he was. Yeah, I know.
He's one of the people in that group that really get it. You know, he understands what clothespinning is and what it could be, and he's like tortured by this thought because he knows the secret and, just disappeared. Nobody knows where he is. He's probably in other countries clothespinning who knows who.
I'm telling you, he's dead. A lot of those guys are going to say, oh, he's hiding up north, he's down south, he's in Jamaica, he's in Brazil. He ain't no boy from Brazil, he's in the ground. I'm telling you, he was clothespinning the wrong people. And when you clothespin the wrong people, you wake up in a shallow grave.
I'll be honest, I'm glad that it's over. I'm glad that they've disbanded and gone their separate ways. I'm glad that Joel vanished because that was just, and it was time. It was just time for it to end. And there was just too much insanity, and I don't know where they all are now, frankly, I really care about my students, but after they leave here, I really, I don't hear from them, right.
I think it was good while it lasted. We had a solid thing going. I miss it sometimes. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be reaching, checking myself, seeing if there's one on my shoulder. But no, it's behind me.
So what did I learn from this production? I think I learned that a C-47 is just too tempting for most people. I think on my next production, I'm going to use paper clips and ties.